We are entering the final turn. It's week 13 in the NFL, and we have a full slate of college games to pick from. But the big news, our biggest celebrity guest yet, the Monolith. Steve, have you heard about the Monolith?
I have not.
Holy shit. Use Google, dude. The Monolith. Or your news application. The Monolith, bro. It's only been 20 days since the Monolith first showed up in Utah. The Monolith is going to anchor today's joint bank account. Let's get it going. Hey y'all, Chris Long here. This is the Green Light Gambling Show presented by DraftKings. And as always, I'm joined by Stanford Steve. How we doing, Steve?
Excellent. How was your holiday weekend?
Dude, it was pretty good. The Thanksgiving thing was certainly like a good call.
No doubt.
It was like one big buzz the whole week.
There you go. Good job.
Although I did quit Thanksgiving evening. I said enough is enough. I just kind of
That was Thursday.
Yeah. I quit on Thursday.
What'd you do Friday, Saturday, and Sunday?
Well, I picked things back up a little bit, but I quit Thursday afternoon.
All right.
Okay. So it was good. But I'm totally sold on the holiday, man. It's awesome. It's awesome. You weren't bullshitting me. Last week we picked every Sunday game on the slate, figuring somebody would shake free, and we wound up just about where we started. I'm hitting 46% of my picks. Steve's hitting 48% of his picks. And so we're neck and neck heading into the final quarter of the season. But here's what's fucked up. Chargers, Bills over.
Oh. I had the Chargers.
I had the over.
Yeah. Thanks a lot.
We would have both looked better. How many percent points would we be better?
A lot.
Not a little. So NFL Week 13, back to three picks apiece. Steve, why don't you go first, man?
All right. Where should we start? I'm going to go with a rematch that we only saw 2 weeks ago. Taysom Hill made his first start against division rival the Falcons. Saints won that game 24-9. Falcons probably played their worst game of the stretch since Raheem has taken over. They blow the doors off the Raiders last week in one of the most crazy outcomes, or I should say unexpected outcomes of the year.
Disgusting.
They put 43 up on them, I think.
43 points. It was one of the Steve, I had the Raiders. It was one of the most disgusting games to try to will them back into as a viewer.
Yeah, that was done. I could see you trying to do that at halftime, like maybe even think of a second half line, like just it's okay to punt.
I did punt, but I just was sitting there thinking, surely with all the things they did wrong that were so egregious in the first half, in the second half they'll be a different football team, and they came out and they were like, no, we just have more diarrhea. Like, got it. That was them.
Yeah. Oh God, there was a lot of poop. So I was looking at I said every week, I don't know why I do it, but I look at like those DVOA numbers. I have no idea what they mean.
What do they mean?
The Falcons are the third best defense with all the DVOA numbers in the second half of the season, only behind the Steelers and the Saints.
Yeah.
So to me, that tells me that there's effort because their defense wasn't good, to start the season. No. Obviously, the hot water with Quinn and all that, and it tallied up. But they've been playing really well, as last week. The week before that, Matt Ryan was brutal. It was their first game without Julio. They couldn't get anything. 3 field goals, 9 points, and they just played into Taysom's hands. I think – we saw Taysom, and last week before the quarterback thing happened with Denver, like I thought it was a good spot for Denver, just because I thought they would have some more film on Taysom. But now you factor in a division opponent, the Falcons getting another crack at them. I believe they just played off. I saw Michael Thomas had 9 catches for over 100. Like he wasn't doing much. So I think they were just giving him, the stuff early. I expect Atlanta to be a little more complex defensively here and really try and put some pressure here on Taysom, knowing that they got even more tape last week from knowing that the Saints were going to try and throw the ball last week, knowing all they had to do was scored a couple touchdowns and they're going to win that game. So I think Atlanta. I like Atlanta here as a dog. They're 9-3 in their last 12 as a dog, and obviously they didn't cover the last time they played the Saints. But I'll go Atlanta here,
dude. Because I was on Atlanta that game. Remember that I gave that out, and I just felt really good about it. And honestly, I gave it out when I think Jameis was still the guy. Right, and then later in the week, Taysom was the guy, and
you loved it even more.
Well, I kind of wondered if it could be bad, because we talked about this. Was like Atlanta, all of a sudden you're preparing for an option quarterback, and it's less of a game that you had drawn up. The game last year that Atlanta played them tough and actually beat them late in the season, like. I think this game with 2 more weeks of tape on Taysom makes a big difference. It's not a sucker punch. And like you said, Atlanta played terrible. Their offense, it was one of Matt's worst games of his career, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, like legitimately, you were watching, and the defense for New Orleans really choked the life out of them. So I think that's different this week, and I also think New Orleans is due a bad game.
Exactly. No doubt. It happens in this league. You know it's better than I do.
Yeah, so I'm with you on that one.
All right.
Who you got 2?
It's another last stand. Me and the Colts.
You're bold.
Last week, I don't know how, like, you knew Tennessee was going to come out and have the foot on the gas, or, sense of urgency was going to be higher because of the loss to them 2 weeks prior in the Thursday night game.
Yeah.
But I mean, they just mashed them on the ground like that. The Colts, like, it was done.
Yeah.
Like, Derrick Henry had 2 or 3 works of fantasy points in one half of football. He didn't even do anything in the second half. And I just really think, like, they ran for over 400 yards, couldn't get anything going offensively. Now you figure you go, to Houston. They've beaten good team. I should say, below average teams. That's what the Colts have done. Look at the resume. I know everybody got pumped because they finally beat a good team when they beat Green Bay. They did that. So their ceiling's pretty good.
Yeah.
Houston, not only did they lose Fuller, but they also lost a starting corner, Roby. And I understand that their secondary is not the best, but I think that's a big loss when you lose 2 starters to something like that. And I think there's a little bit of overreaction to the Texans win against Detroit, knowing that everybody was home on Thanksgiving and watched that game, and Patricia gets fired, and it's just like, oh, maybe the Texans are good, and are they the best 3-8 team out there, or whatever their record is?
Yeah. This is like a segment.
Yeah,
I saw that pop up somewhere.
So they get Brian Kelly back to center, which I think is big for them. Going on the road.
I had him out. Okay.
I'm pretty sure he's coming back.
Okay,
I think
cool.
Costanzo's got the MCL. That's the one.
Yeah.
But I think he's way more replaceable than Kelly in the middle. Mm-hmm. And they're 7-0-1 ATS against the Texans in the last 8.
Yeah.
They have their number.
They've owned them all time.
They need it. And this is what I mean. Yeah, it's scary. It's the NFL. This is why gambling on it is almost impossible as a life changer. But this is.
You're like, man, this shit isn't what it's cracked up to be.
Cliche. The Colts goal is the playoffs.
Yeah.
And the Texans isn't. So you would think they would come in here with a little vengeance. I do hate that this is the first time they've played this year this late. I can't stand that.
On the record, I like Houston.
All right. A little disagreement.
But I'm not gonna give them out. So who do you have?
Not
3?
Official.
Yeah, it's not official.
Okay.
On the record, but not official. Who do you have pick 3?
This I am not going to overthink. I was so mad at myself as soon as we got done with our taping last week that I can't believe I took the Cardinals against Belichick. And now I feel like I'm late to it because one thing, Belichick versus a rookie quarterback. That's it. That is it. Now, the Chargers might have every other advantage when you look at matchup on the field, personnel, groupings, down and distance situation.
Yeah.
But the Patriots have a landslide advantage in coaching.
Absolutely.
And it's the first. I mean, the Patriots have clawed back. We've talked about them a ton. Yeah. They have clawed back here to get one game under 500. There is still hope. They have an enormous 3-game road stretch coming up here. They really need this game because they play the Chargers in the SoFi, then they play the Rams in SoFi, and then they go to Miami.
Yeah, they got a tough one to go.
It's like this is the one. I think we've talked about their secondary and how versatile they are with the McCourties back there, and they can do anything and mix and match. Like, I could be totally wrong. I'm not overthinking it. I'm taking Belichick against a rookie quarterback.
Yeah,
bottom line.
I'm afraid to bet against Bill. To your point, so I might be exactly what you said. I might be apt to bet LA on a matchup basis, but no, I'm not doing it.
Did you happen to see the end of the Cardinals-Patriots game?
I saw the hit.
That collision was serious.
Yeah.
Like, those are two
really big dudes
that are bigger than you and I, that were going full speed and are way more talented, faster, stronger.
Exactly.
And you saw there's a cutaway to Cam on the sidelines where he's just looking, and you could just tell he's saying, man, I ain't been hit like that in a long time.
Dude, yeah, I haven't seen Cam.
There is a cut. Go back to the game.
I saw it too because it was
it was the Rocky and Apollo at the end of Rocky at the end of Rocky 3 to the simultaneous punch. That's what it was, because they both went the same way.
Yep.
I mean, man, that was a collision. Ooh,
that's the biggest collision that you'll see. And how much do you think Isaiah weighs?
Oh man, he's lighter than you think. That's the problem. When you see it, when I saw it on the field in person, his arms are so long.
I just remember thinking
like he's built
long.
like a Greek god.
Yeah, but
Cam probably weighs more, I would think.
Yeah, I would think so too. I think Cam's 250. Cam's 245, 250. Yep. Simmons 230s.
I would say
high 230s, low 240s. Two dudes 240 plus pounds hitting each other that fast.
Full go.
And guess what? It wasn't a penalty.
No.
So that was fucked up. That was fucked up. Okay, let me give my 3 here.
Yes.
So I'm just going to get weird this weekend, guys. Okay? I'm just going to get weird. I'm going to take the Jaguars. Okay?
Yes.
They've been covering left and right. The Vikings, I'm losing faith in them, man. I've jumped off the ship. Man. I'm back on the Viking ship. I jump off the Viking ship. I just don't trust them. I don't trust them. That's a lot of points. So give me Jacksonville and Glennon down there, huh?
Yeah.
My guy. I mean, he's getting old.
He is.
How old is he? Like 31, 32? That's not that old. I'm 35, but I used to play against Glennon. Let me get the Jets. That's my weirdest pick of the year. I'm gonna go Jets. Maybe it's not. I don't know where the money is here. I don't know where.
It ain't on the Jets. I'll tell you that.
but it's weird because it's not on the Jets. But you saw what happened to Las Vegas last weekend. Yes. That's the last thing that's in people's heads. So if the money's not on the Jets, people really hate the Jets, and I don't blame them. But if you look at what the Raiders became late last year, they went on this long slide. And, besides getting their ass kicked by the Chiefs, the next week then they lose 34-3 on the road in New York to the Jets. And so, listen, Gase is out there coaching for not his job, because I think that we're done with that conversation. But he's auditioning. Sam Darnold's auditioning. I think the Jets are going to play better offensively. And I don't hate the over, but it's a lot of points, around 9-10, depending on when you get it. I like the Jets, man. This is the second East Coast trip in 2 weeks.
I was going to say, did they go back to Las Vegas?
Because of COVID. If they had stayed at like the Greenbrier or something in West Virginia, I'd look at this a little different. But I actually really like, more I'm talking myself into it, I really like the Jets.
It looks like 42 degrees and a little sunshine, so that's huge for the Raiders.
Yep. Maybe we'll get overcast. And a team that I can't figure out, but I'm going to go all in on this weekend is the Rams, okay?
Huge game. Can't wait to see this one.
What a big game. I mean, they're about field goal favorites, and I would think this is more of a popular pick, but I am not sold on Kyler being healthy right now. I'm not sure since the Seattle game that he's looked the same. And actually, if you're worried about the deep ball, there's nobody defending it better right now than the LA Rams. So I love the front. Not just Aaron Donald, but Michael Brockers too. We saw last weekend, I was talking to, I was talking to myself about this Wednesday because I couldn't find anybody to do a pod with. I was talking to myself about this. Defensive tackles last weekend in the league, they made their presence felt by not being there, right? Chicago, Akeem Hicks, they got carved up. Buckner in Indy. I mean, look at that. Derrick Henry's getting 2 more yards a pop on the ground with him out, and they're loading the box with twice the frequency. So, yeah. I mean, D tackles for sure. Those guys are going to beat them up inside, and then the guys on the back end can keep Kyler from feasting on those big plays, man. I really actually like the Rams in this spot.
Yeah, they are. I mean, you've seen how good they are. And in the first half, they come out like that last week. They are, I don't know. They're obviously not good enough to have that switch.
I'm not going to overreact to the Niners owning them, because what I've learned this year is that they actually do. I mean, like, it's solidified this year. It's a bad matchup for them because, last year I could say, well, the Niners were incredibly talented. They had all their, this year they've been, bits and pieces, and they've beaten them twice.
Yeah.
So, I'm just not going to bet the Rams ever again when they play the Niners, but I like the Rams this weekend.
Very good.
Yeah. So there we go. That's for you was the Colts, the Patriots, and who was it?
Falcons.
The Falcons, yes. I might drop my nuts and go Falcons too in real life. Okay. And for me, it was LA, it was the Jets, and it was the Jaguars. So, yeah, getting weird. College game of the week. What do we got this weekend, Steve?
Do you want A ACC pick or B ACC pick?
B ACC pick. I love this, bro. I love the ACC. So charming. It's a charming conference.
Are you sure you want it?
You like BC?
I do.
Give me the A pick.
All right, we're not going to overthink this at all. Justin Fuente is 1-5 against the spread against top 10 teams in Blacksburg. The last time out we saw them, they were rancid against Pitt. I think they scored 14 or 17 points. We're going to take Clemson and lay the points. In my column on ESPN.com, I hemmed and hawed all week with what I like Clemson. I like the over. I just can't trust having anything to do with Virginia Tech, contributing to something,
right?
Because of, the rumors were before the Pitt game that Fuente was going to be done. And now it hasn't gotten any better.
Nope.
And now you factor in another game that they lost. They were supposed to play. Like, I have no idea what to expect from them. So I know I'm going to get ambush style Dabo coming out with his guys. So obviously, it's been a thing all year. There's no home, no home crowd, no home advantage. Right. It's a neutral site game.
I gotta say, like, Blacksburg, even for a Virginia guy, it's a hell of an atmosphere. It's loud there. I mean, it's real loud. So yeah, that's the nicest thing you'll hear about Virginia Tech on this podcast. Yeah, that is. That's about it. Last week I complimented Bud Foster. I think he was cool, and Beamer was cool. I had a beer with Beamer once.
All right,
but I don't fucking like Tech. The only school I really hate in the ACC is Maryland and Scott's Terrapins. That's it. That is it. I love the ACC, man. Let me ask you this: if Fuente is done, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who's out there? What are we looking at down at 81 in Blacksburg in the future?
I don't know.
They're gonna fuck it up. Tell me they're gonna fuck it up.
I mean, they're not gonna bring Frank's son Shane back. I mean, he's killing it at Oklahoma recruiting, Shane Beamer.
Yeah, no, I know. Shane, yeah.
He's actually been rumored for the South Carolina job. I don't think he wants to go coach. Follow your dad's footsteps with the footprint that he laid in Blacksburg.
Yeah,
I don't think he wants anything to do with that.
That would be tough.
Yeah.
Not right now.
I don't know, man. Now. Like Fuente was way out of the realm. Like, would the guy at Coastal Carolina take the Virginia Tech job?
I would think so.
You know, like, but then, you know, does he? You'll love this, but like, does he want SEC money and take the Vandy job instead of Virginia Tech?
I mean, I would rather work at Vandy for better money. I don't see where the
Jesus, I just put that on a tee for you.
I don't see where the snare is here. Is there like a trap in this question? Usually it's like
just lay it out there for old wahoo wah.
Both
That's
things all. in you know, like both columns lean Vandy there for me. Lifestyle, paycheck, quality of program.
Nashville.
I'm just joking, guys. I respect Virginia Tech's program. I just like to bust balls while we have the Commonwealth Cup. It's been a year.
Yeah.
It's been
another year too. No out of conference.
It's getting dusty, guys. All right. Joint bank account. What do you got, Steve?
Let's Auburn money line at home against Texas A&M.
What's that paying out?
Give me 1 second. I'll tell you.
Give me a range.
They're a 7-point underdog plus 210.
210. Give me the fucking Eagles money line.
Wow. Okay.
Give me the Eagles money line. Just been a dumpster fire. Probably won't win the game, but I'm giving out the Eagles money line because last year was close. And, you know, you talk about being
Didn't they win last year?
Yeah, they won.
Right? They won at Lambeau on a Sunday night.
It was in September, I think.
Yeah, it was early.
Of the season.
Plus 320 Eagles.
Plus 320 on the fucking Eagles.
You love your Eagles, boy.
No, listen, man. You know, I likened it.
I heard you. I hear you. I know your Eagles spiel.
You know, it's hard to quit. It's hard to quit my guys, man. You know,
it's like dipping. It's like dipping.
Well, I likened it to a bad night out on the town. You wake up in the morning, you say you never drink it again. That's me on Monday morning when it comes to I'm not picking the Eagles anymore. They're dead in the division. And then by Saturday, I'm like, you know what? I'm looking at the strength of schedule, and I'm looking at I do. I like them in Green Bay.
All right.
Not for serious, but maybe I'm serious.
For the joint bank account.
For the joint bank account. We'll see what the monolith has to say.
The Detroit Lions plus 155 over the Chicago Bears. I don't trust the Bears anymore. Even if that means laying money on a road dog. Trust me. I'm the monolith. P.S. Go Rutgers.
Well, the monolith has spoken, man. The monolith has spoken. You got to go Google the monolith, bro, so you can get because you're sitting there.
I will.
You're like, this seems funny, but I'm not going to laugh at shit.
I'm like, Mandalorian. No, it's got to be good if Chris is telling me.
Just Google it, man.
All right.
Steve, thanks, bro. See you Sunday night, maybe?
Yes, sir. Sunday night.
Back in the building, Steve and me. All right, y'all take care.